Prince Harry made a subtle dig at the royal family as he spoke at length about his post-traumatic stress disorder during his new Netflix docuseries, Heart of Invictus. The Duke of Sussex was speaking to an interviewer during the show, that follows the competitors and organisers preparing for the 2020 Invictus Games at The Hague, which was delayed until spring 2022 due to the COVID pandemic, when he made yet another swipe at his family back home in the UK. Harry, who is also the executive producer of the docuseries, is seen interacting with the players as Meghan Markle also makes an appearance on the show. In a segment, the Duke of Sussex talks about the post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and trauma in war zones, and appears to make a swipe at the royal family by saying that his trauma was never discussed. He said, "Look, I can only speak to my own experience, but from my tour of Afghanistan in 2012 flying Apaches, somewhere after that there was an unraveling." Poll: will you watch Prince Harry's Heart of Invictus series on Netflix? And the trigger for me was actually returning from Afghanistan, but the stuff that was coming up was from 1997, from the age of 12. Losing my mum at such a young age, the trauma I had I was never aware of. He continued and explained how he never spoke about his feelings. Harry said, "It was never discussed and I didn't really talk about it, and I suppressed it like most other youngsters would have done. When it all came fizzing out I was bouncing off the walls. What is going on here? I am now feeling everything instead of being young. The biggest struggle for me was no one around me really could help. I didn't have that support structure, that network or that expert advice to identify what was actually going on with me. Unfortunately, like most of us, the first time you consider therapy is when you are lying on the floor in the fetal position, probably wishing you had dealt with some of this stuff previously. And that's what I really want to change." However, this is not the first time that the Duke of Sussex has spoken about his trauma. He had previously discussed PTSD in his memoir, Spare, and spoke in further detail when he sat down with Dr. Gabor Mate, a Hungarian-Canadian physician who is specialized in trauma, addiction, stress, and childhood development. The Duke of Sussex revealed his PTSD diagnosis and talked about both, the support he has received from his wife, Meghan Markle, and how he wants to raise his children differently. Dr. Mate suggested that the Duke might be suffering from disorders such as AD, PTSD, anxiety, and depression owing to the trauma and suffering. For many years, Prince Harry has been focusing on raising awareness about mental health, especially through his memoir. He told Dr. Mate that he views the book as an act of service, hoping that will help others speak up about mental health.
Just need